Thank you so much, Saurabh, for joining. And
Anytime.
yeah, you are giving time to us. It's really very valuable for us. Thank you so much. And yeah, first of all, congratulations on clearing CTA program.
Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
great opportunity, and you have done very well in that. Congratulations from
Yeah.
all of us, my team. And yeah, can you please provide a bit of your introduction?
Sure. But before I start, I would like to say, although this is not a paid promotion, but when I was preparing for my final examination, I still remember because on the day of capstone project, so we were have to quickly revise the topic. So I remember I had the session around afternoon. So
Okay.
I had to quickly revise some topics related to CMDB. So I typed in Google, okay, a certain topic. And your was the first one which came related to shorts. And I said, okay,
Great,
this one can really help me quickly to get the concept revised. So, I mean,
great.
I'm really thankful to you to whatever you are doing for the community. I
Thank you.
mean, there was definitely a need of a channel or a medium through which you can put out podcasts, ServiceNow related technical contents, and
Right.
I'm happy to see you doing all that.
So happy you
Uh,
find our content very valuable.
yeah, definitely. So, a brief about me. I'm Saurabh. I am the working as solution consultant with one of the organizations based out of Singapore, and
Okay.
I've been into ServiceNow space for close to more than 5 years, in fact, now, and have been helping customers across the globe and hoping to continue to do so.
Okay. Great. Great. So what is your current role like? What kind of stuff you are doing at the moment?
Sure. So I'll tell you how my role transitioned. So initially, I
Yeah.
started as a ServiceNow developer first. So I was working around 2019 with one of the MNCs where I was working as ServiceNow developer, then gradually moved to senior developer. And now my roles and responsibility includes as a solution consultant, where we meet the prospect clients, understand their business problems, see what value can ServiceNow bring to their table, and help them automate their workflows, business
Okay.
processes, and IT landscape.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Any of your favorite implementation you can share with us? A small chunk of it, like
Yeah.
what
So, I mean,
feel very good and really providing value.
yep. So I'll just talk brief about it because it's a public sector implementation in Singapore. So we helped a public sector organization in Singapore to transform basically help them in their digital transformation, where they were moving from an obsolete bespoke applications into ServiceNow. So help them with case management and various other automations. So the reason I feel it's quite valuable because we can really see the outcome in front of our eyes. I mean, we have been into this implementation for more than 1.5 years, and
Okay.
we could really see our customers driving that value out of service now, and how their manual processes have been reduced by around 60-70%.
Okay.
So
Great.
yeah.
Great. 70% is huge.
Yeah, actually, the process, we didn't only just change the IT system for them. We also, because my personal opinion is, you when you go for a digital transformation project, you just don't change their IT system. You also help them improve their processes, help them with their consultancy part, where they
Hmm.
can actually give a thought of how they have been doing things and re-engineer those. So I've been
Great.
a great pleasure, and I'm grateful that I got that opportunity to work with them.
Great. 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 Okay. So coming back to CTA. So like
Yes.
how you got that motivation to go for CTA? I know it's a very challenging stuff
Yeah,
and it required a lot of dedication and time as well, right? So
definitely.
how just tell us that journey.
Sure. So, I mean, I'll be very honest with you. Actually, I was not at all prepared for CTA. And in fact, I wasn't thinking that it's the right moment for me to go for CTA. So,
Okay.
because as I told, right, I had only been in the ServiceNow space for 5 years, more than 5 years. And then when I was like, my management reached out to me, one of my leaders talked to me that I think you should be going for CTA. But I said, I still feel like carrying the title of architect whole comes with a lot of responsibilities, right? And
Right.
I said,
Right.
I still feel I have a lot more to learn and explore about the platform. But he said, there's no right moment for things to do. You
Right.
just go plunge into the opportunity, and eventually you will become ready in the process. And I followed his advice, I followed his steps, and then I decided to went into this program. And luckily, I was able to clear it out. And although I still feel I'm still learning. Every day is
Right.
a day in school. But yeah,
Right.
that's how I got into this program.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was my kickstart moment.
Great. 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 Can you tell us a bit about the format of the program, like its timing and what all things are included, if it is allowed?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can definitely give that information.
Okay.
So what happened was it's a 13-week program. So
Mhm.
actually, if you hear for someone who is into ServiceNow space, like 3, 4 years experience or 5 year experience, when you hear this word, right, certified technical architect, so the first thing which would come to your mind is this program is more on the technical terms. They will teach you like how to script better, how to do technical implementations, or would be more about technical information. But
Mhm.
however, it's nothing like that. I mean, it does talk technical, but what it does is it tells you, it basically gives you another lens to look at how you have been looking at the platform from a technical perspective.
Okay.
So, to give you more information about it, it's a 13-week program where we start by a case study. So it makes you actually feel you're working for a customer. So
Okay.
customer in that case study, it has been listed out what are the problems that the customer is facing, and there are certain challenges with their current IT systems. And then we each week we go through different ServiceNow modules. So in this entire span of 13 weeks, we cover around 30 modules.
13.
So
Yeah, 13.
yeah, 30
Three
modules.
zero. Okay.
So yeah. So although those are not very in-depth technical, but you have to at least scratch the surface, or need to have a basic understanding of what those modules are or those ServiceNow features are about. And it's a self-study program, so that you do. It's not a typical session where you go into a call with the technical trainers or ServiceNow trainers where they tell you, okay, this is CMDB, this is what the tables comes at. No, it's a very interesting way of working model. So what they do is you have a case study from day one with you, right? Each week they tell you what they would be discussing about, and they give you some learning materials. Basically, there's their own platform or website where you can go and learn those stuff, and you
Okay.
need to work with your team. So you are basically a member of 5 member team is created. So you
Okay.
do self study, understand that weeks. So every week has an agenda that what we our group would be presenting. So you need
Okay.
to self study, discuss among yourself, brainstorm, and then present on the Friday weekly live session. So that's how it works. It's a very interesting way, rather.
Okay. Get
Yeah,
case study and then a group discussion.
exactly.
Okay.
So you don't actually, it's not a typical atmosphere where you are listening to someone and you're like brain dead and just absorbing information. You go and you explore a lot more things. And that way, in fact, while you are exploring, you come across a lot more new concepts than rather you would hear from a teacher or a trainer.
So when they give case study, they
Mhm.
have some targets as well, like some problem which you have to solve, or just you have to present something.
Correct. Yes, yes. So in that case study itself, they do specify that, okay, what the customer is looking at with this ServiceNow transformation.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a typical, because I've been like actually dealing with customers. So when I came across this case study, right, I felt, oh, they have made it so real that someone who is not at the role where they actually interact at this level before the project comes in or at the kickstart of the project, right? You actually get that feel that, okay, how does a project go from being sold, like you have sold ServiceNow to them, but how you actually onboard them, this program actually tells you that. So to answer your question, yeah, so every week we do have an agenda items that
Okay.
based on this week's discussion, this should be the outcome. So let's suppose you are presenting the solution to the UI UX team of the customer. So you need to tell how ServiceNow's UI UX is based out and how it can help user adapt to the platform easily, what we can configure for them, what comes out of the box. So yeah, so
Okay.
it's an actual simulation of the client environment.
Okay. So we can
Yeah,
say that it's a kind of techno-functional things which they
yeah,
ask you to do.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Yes, yeah.
Okay. So you have to write some scripting as well in between, or
No, so
theoretical
it's not at all.
presentation.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So it's not at all technical. So in fact,
Okay.
that's the interesting part. Even when I was looking from an outsider perspective, I was thinking, okay, it would be very technical. They would teach me
Hmm.
how to like do best practices of coding and how to like technically be very sound about it. But rather, it shows you very interesting side, as I said, right? It tells you that you are talking to a customer who does not know anything about ServiceNow. But
Okay.
then you need to make him realize that how ServiceNow is solving their problem. Now, to give you an example, if I come to you and tell you that I will be installing a mid server in your infrastructure, in your network infrastructure, you would be scared, right? First of all, what is mid server? Mid
Right.
server is a service term, right? And then why are you installing some application to me? So the beauty of it is you have to explain them in a way that they understand what you are doing and how it is solving their problem, while still like giving them some hint of what ServiceNow is.
Okay.
So it's finding that sweet spot between technical and business.
Keeping the technical terms aside,
Exactly, exactly. So
like that, right?
yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
in fact, when in a daily session, in our weekly sessions with ServiceNow trainers, they keep switching the hats. So sometimes they come as security head of the customer. Sometimes they come as database architect. Sometimes they come as UI UX lead, business head. So you have to tailor your words, your presentation in such a way that okay, if I'm talking to a guy who is security,
Hmm.
who is a security lead, right? So first of all, I'll not explain him why security is important. He'll say, "Come on, I'm security lead. You are telling me what my job is." But then you have to tell him
Uh,
that how ServiceNow security gives you the best in class industry standards to make your platform and data secure. So yeah,
okay.
it's
So
very interesting. I mean,
it must be an amazing journey for you, right?
yeah, truly, no doubt about it. Yeah, it has been
Okay.
like wonderful ride.
Okay. So can you tell us your five best learning from that program?
Yeah,
Not
I'll start
five,
counting.
then yeah,
Sure.
your learnings
So
basically. Let's
sure.
keep the number
So
aside.
yeah, so first of all would be communication. So I would say communication is a very big umbrella, but
Hmm.
if I were to pin it down for me, so in terms of communication, the program taught me how you can present your content in such a way, as I said, right, that it's a sweet spot between technical and functional, and also respects the audience, right? For
Okay.
someone who is coming from database, you need to mince your words in such a way that you don't explain the basic concepts. For someone but who is from business side, you need to explain him what is table, how is reporting done, right? So it increases your communication by a lot, right?
Okay.
It coming from a technical background, at least for me, I used to always look at things from a technical perspective, but then it put me in a spot where I had to change my lens and start looking from a things from a customer's perspective, right? That for customer, how the problem is getting solved is more valuable than understanding whether it's a custom table or it's an out of the box table.
Obvious. Obvious.
So that's another thing. And then working in teams. So and being self motivated. So as I said, right, they would not hold a stick on your head that go and read and come prepared. It is
Hmm.
how self motivated you are to achieve or knock this program off or to get the value. You can clear the certification with by grasping 30% of the program. You can clear the program by grasping 100% of what it is capable of giving to you. So it's up to you how motivated you are. And then working amongst peers. So right in that program, everyone is like very smart. They
Hmm.
have their own set of knowledges, own set of expertise. Like I am someone who has worked a lot on custom apps, CSM, right? But someone in my team has worked a lot on ITSM and ITOM. So we have to interact and like work in an environment where we both can learn from each other and respect each other's opinion. So teamwork is another thing which the program taught me. So yeah, if I were to pick few of the things, these would be one of them.
Great. Great. So it is basically creating a complete ecosystem and
Exactly.
asking you to drive it, asking you to take
Yes.
part in it, and then come out of it. Great.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Very
it
nice.
also teaches you how to respect other people's opinions, right? So in like you have been like an expert in ServiceNow area, you know, to solve a particular problem, there could be 10 ways, right?
Right.
You would come up with way one, I would come up with way two. And how we mutually respect each other and how we, even if we disagree, right? How we do it with like sympathy and a professional courtesy to each other. So that's what program is all about. It's not about selling the best technical solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Great. So, like, tell me something about the team you got, not names, but the expertise your peers were having, and about
Yeah.
your, like, you have a CSM and all, right? And what your team was having, so that we understand you, all of you interacted and then came out
Sure.
with such great solutions.
Sure. So basically, first of all, this is very random. So who you would be teamed up with, it's entirely with ServiceNow team, right?
ServiceNow.
So yeah, how do they do it? We don't know. But for me, like as I told you, right, I'm more on custom apps, platform understanding, and then CSM side, right? We have a team member who was expert in ITOM, and ITSM
Okay.
side of things. Then we had a guy who had like 10 plus years of experience and was superb with integrations. And then we had someone else who had been really extensively working on workspaces and service portal and the UI stuff. So that's how the diverse team was. I'm not sure how do they do it, but for at least for my group, we had our own diversity in terms of skill on the platform. So it really helped while we used to interact. So someone used to so every week is basically around some of the modules, as I said, right? Some day we talk about ITSM, ITOM, some day we talk about UI UX, some day we talk about integration, some days data, some days security. So each one of us was expert, and then we used to listen to other person, and then also go back and study on our own and how better we can solution this problem. So although the live session is once a week, every Friday, but
Okay.
you have to connect on a daily basis. At least that's what my team used to do with each other, so that we have a final presentation by ready by Thursday to submit.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah,
So I think ServiceNow also have paid attention to team organization, I think,
exactly. Yes.
because this is the main motto to keep all the expert and from various diverse applications and domains, and then because
Yeah,
in that case only the best will come out of it, right? When
absolutely.
experts discuss, but these experts are not from same field but different, so finally we'll come up with something which is good and which has long life, I think.
Yeah.
Let's say. Okay, great.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about your strategy, like how you strategize these 13 weeks of learning, and finally you like came out with good stars from that program. So what was your strategy to prepare for the exam?
Yeah. So for me, what I did was, and I would also recommend anyone who is like
Hmm.
participating in the upcoming programs. So you do your work every week, right? Because what happens is whatever we have presented in 13 weeks, at the end, as a team, at the end, you have to present the same, not the exactly same content, but on the same lines in your final project. So
Okay.
if you keep preparing your content every week, so let's suppose this week I'm studying about database and it is in context to customer. They don't teach you service, they give you basics of platform database architecture, but then you have to cherry pick, okay, this is a, how do I say, let's suppose this is a schedule job, right? This is data table cleanups. This is event jobs. So what of this content is relevant for my customer? So they will not teach you whatever is required for customer. Their material teaches you everything about platform. But
Okay.
then you don't need to present everything to the customer because the presentations are time bound. So you
Right.
have to cherry pick what part of this will solve my customer's problem and how do I efficiently present to it. So go week by week, prepare yourself every week. Don't keep it until the last week that, okay, when my final project is there, then I would start preparing. Because then you would not be able to cope up or you would be overstressed. If you keep reading that particular set of modules, let's suppose every week we have three or four, and then start writing down the points. Okay, this is what I should be putting for my customer. This is how this will solve problem one for my customer. This is the benefit they will get out of this. Then it would be much easy for you for your final projects rather than piling up the work for the last week.
So final project means uh, a project, or there is any test also in that program,
No. So how it works is, so as I told you, right, at the very day one, you will get a case study. Now,
right?
the same case study, different parts of it, you would be solutioning each week. But in the final project, the case study is still the same, but they will tell you who are you presenting. So there are either one CMA, one CTA, both CMAs who would actually be listening to your presentation as customers. So they will not behave as ServiceNow experts as they are, but rather they would be behaving as customers. So one would be like CIO, Chief Information Officer, the other would be behaving as enterprise architect. And then you have to, and you obviously get a set of problem statements for your final project that, okay, this is the meeting agenda, this is what
Hmm.
you have to solve for customer. And
Okay.
then all that content which you have gone through in last 13 weeks, you have to nail it down in a window of like 20-25 minutes to make it precise and within time, so that you convey the solution within time, and at the same time it is not very technical, as in the customer is not able to grasp that information.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Any guidelines for someone who is going to appear this certification?
Yeah. So as I said, first is keep preparing every week.
Right.
The other is since I've not seen, I'm not sure if they are planning to change, but from a very long time, the case studies have been same, right? So if someone tries and gets presentation from someone in his her or in his or her organization who has previously done it, they can take the presentation that okay, you have cleared it. Can you lend me my presentation? But I tell you, it's not the presentation which will get you through. It's
Right.
your knowledge about the presentation and it's how you deliver it. Because when you prepare the presentation yourself, right, you know that okay, why I have structured my current architecture or to be architecture like this, why I have put this application on intranet or why I have put it on internet. Because when you do it yourself, you actually go through the case study 10 times.
Right.
You understand that whatever you are putting in, what is the rationale behind it. Because even though they will not ask you technical questions, but they will still ask you that why are you recommending me this solution, right? Even though the architect is not service architect, but it is an enterprise architect you are presenting to, right? So they will still ask you questions like, okay, why is that you are recommending me? Why you are not recommending me this? So until unless you have done your homework nicely, you won't be able to defend your solution. No matter how pretty your slides
Great.
are, how how big four consulting level presentations you have made, but until unless you have put the knowledge behind it, you won't be able to defend your solution. So
Okay. Okay. So be honest
that's something I would recommend. Be honest, exactly.
to yourself only, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is
Because
the main
even
thing.
if you clear the certification that way, right, there's no value. If you're
Obviously,
just doing it for a piece of paper, you could do that, but what's the value you're getting out of it?
no, means once you have it in such a way, then next day you have to present it to actual
Exactly.
customers, right? Because your
Yes.
company is spending money and everything for that only.
Yes.
What you
Correct.
will
Yeah.
do? Yes,
Yeah.
unless you not thoroughly, grasp it. Great.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So whoever is listening, you should be very honest and follow the program, and then uh, give your thoughts, interact with peers, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So, like my last question,
Mhm.
though you have cleared it properly, but do you feel anything to be included in this program which is missing, or you think everything was, perfect? Just, just as a
Sure.
suggestion or something which you can give to service now.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you include this, it will have more value.
Yes. So in fact, they are very open for this matter. So at the last, they do ask you as a mandatory to provide a feedback on how they can improve. And
Uh-huh.
one of the feedbacks which I have was, no doubt, the program has been structured very nicely. But like what they do in CMA is they also let you present to a live audience in an actual scenario. Because what I feel, presenting virtually and presenting in person with a live audience is also
Yeah.
very different, right? The nervousness you get, the confidence which you need to hold while you are presenting to the actual live audience is very different. So I do suggest them that as they do with CMA program, if they can also somehow plan to include, bring us all in a single location and bring some audience in for us to present, that would really boost our confidence and make us more presentable and knock the nail down.
Okay, meaning
Yeah.
to have some more realistic feelings in
Yeah,
that.
correct. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because right now the program is entirely virtual. And I feel
Okay.
one or two presentation sessions should be in person as well.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
they can call us if not out of country,
Yeah.
maybe in every country they have their own offices, right? They can
Exactly.
call
Yes.
all such CTAs there. Like if I'm in
Exactly.
India, I may go to Bangalore or Hyderabad,
Yes.
and you are in Singapore, then you have to go there, Singapore office. At
Yes.
least they
Correct.
have
Correct.
some interaction. They have real audiences
Yes.
there. So okay, yeah, nice
They
feedback.
do that, in fact, with the CMA program, the Master Architect program. They do call you in, I think, US, and then it's a batch of all the CMAs who are appearing, and few
Mhm.
sessions they have it in person and let you present to a live audience.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. One thing I forgot. What is the cost of this program? Any
Okay,
idea?
so this is something I'm not sure if I'm about to like I should be
Okay,
saying, but they keep on changing every year. So I'm not sure what the number which I could even quote would be right for the audience seeing
okay,
it right now. So
okay.
yeah.
So it's like derived by organization to organization.
No,
Okay,
it's by ServiceNow, same for all, but ServiceNow also keeps it changing every year or every
okay,
6 months. So yeah,
okay,
it's not very static. Yeah.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Amazing discussion, Saurabh, and you have
Same
given
here.
straightforward insights to everyone who is listening to this podcast.
I hope I
Before
could
we
add
leave,
value.
anything you would like to add? Anything, any suggestion, or whatever you want to say?
So I'll just say two things. First is don't think too much.
Mhm.
Like trust yourself and just get into the program and give it your 100%. If you are honest with yourself and with your work, you will definitely come out with flying colors. And
Okay.
next is thanks to you for doing such an amazing work for the community, Omain. I mean, I when I came across your channels, I could really see that you are trying very hard, and the way you are putting out the content, it's not only specific to one kind of content, right? It's around entire service now things. You have podcast, you have knowledge sessions, you have shorts as well for someone like me who wants to quickly revise some topics before
Yeah,
some
these
D
are the
day.
new things which I'm trying.
So you are really doing an amazing job. Please continue to do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
with all such great words from you and all the community, it's always driving me to give some good and try my best. And I'll keep
Pleasure, pleasure.
continuing. Great, great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Saurabh.
Thank
And
you, man.
wish you all the best for
Thank
all
you
your
so much.
future customers who are ready to interact with you. Okay.
Sure.
And all the best from
Yeah,
our side.
sure. Thank you so much, Amin. Nice,
Okay.
lovely talking to you.
Same here. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.